As human beings, the eyes see only what they want to see. This cannot be any more true when it comes to WWE. The WWE probably, if they allow themselves to see it, probably, without going out and getting a Kenny Omega, without looking in NXT, without pushing John Cena to the limits, breaking him down to where nobody wants to see him or care about him anymore. If they want to see it, they will abandon ship of this Roman experiment that is undoubtedly the biggest failure in WWE history. If they allow themselves to see it, the WWE has, potentially, this is depending on who you talk to. Some may agree with me, some may disagree with me. But if they allow themselves to see it, the WWE probably has their number one man. Every single week, no matter who you listen to, it could be a podcast, it could be an analyst, it could be a business insider, it could be somebody just watching casually, not really jumping into the world of professional wrestling and dissecting it like all of us usually do on a weekly basis. Every single week, it's been said, and everybody is in agreement that the body of work that Seth Rollins has done has been fantastic. And WWE really hasn't given him any limitations at all. They haven't fucked with his character. They haven't given him a shitty direction on television. He's just doing what he needs to do. He's doing what Seth Rollins was put on this earth to do. Wrestle. The body of work that Seth Rollins has portrayed coming out of WrestleMania 33, and I've said this time and time and time again, there's been nobody on that roster, and I'm even putting an AJ Styles into this category. There's been nobody on this roster that has consistently been as good as Seth Rollins, especially on Monday Night Raw. And Seth Rollins is doing one thing that WWE 10 times out of 10 always turns the other cheek to. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to embrace it. It's like when this happens, it goes against WWE's way of thinking. It's like breaking the law to WWE management. You can't do this. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. You have to do what we want and what we say because we know best. What is the difference between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns? One is forced. The other has been naturally progressing on television, organically getting over. And he's been doing that based on his in-ring work. It's amazing what someone can do when they're put in a situation and it feels natural. Seth Rollins went through, and maybe this has to happen with Roman Reigns because I've heard it more times now this week than I have ever heard it before. Seth Rollins went away for 8 months. He went away with a possible career-ending injury. That's how bad it was. Came back and has never looked better. He went away. We missed him. Took him a while to get back to the Seth Rollins that we knew when he was WWE champion and United States champion at the same time, feuding with John Cena, being a monster heel under the authority's thumb. It took him a while to get back to the level of performance that we know of him. But when he got to that point, WWE really didn't put handcuffs on him. WWE didn't force him. WWE didn't really shove him down everyone's throats. Hey, look at Seth Rollins. Let's feature him in 6 segments every week, and let's feature him in segments that are cringe and are going to be frowned upon by the WWE audience. Let's position him in a way that is going to make the audience turn against him. They didn't do any of that. They didn't do any of that whatsoever. Seth Rollins got over by the body of work that he does night in and night out in the ring. He went away, fought back, came back, stronger than ever, and now look at where he is. Look at where he is. All it took was one segment on Monday Night Raw, one match on Monday Night Raw to put in everyone's head, this is the guy. This is the man that we want to see on Monday nights as the face of the brand. It's amazing. 1 hour in a gauntlet match by beating John Cena and Roman Reigns in the same night. One match. Put Rollins back on the map, and they fucking stamped him on Monday Night Raw. He got over by in-ring work. He got over organically. He got over naturally. It's amazing how I say, and it rings true because it's happened. The body of work that these guys showcase in the ring will get them over. There's something that people are emotionally attached to with Seth Rollins. Whatever it is, there's an emotional attachment to Seth Rollins. More so than there is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is being portrayed, and his career on Monday Night Raw is being derailed, downright killed on Monday nights because of the way WWE is booking him. If WWE had Roman Reigns off of television, and Roman Reigns went away, and we didn't see Roman Reigns, would you miss Roman Reigns? No. Roman Reigns, I think, needs to go away from WWE television, and it's going to become one of those aspects where absence makes the heart grow fonder. We'll eventually miss Roman Reigns. But I don't see WWE going to those lengths to take Roman Reigns off of television, unless he ends up being injured like Rollins was legitimately. And then they can piece together a comeback for him in the same way that they did Seth Rollins. What WWE needs to do here now is embrace the hate for Roman Reigns. They need to embrace everything negatively that is being thrown at this guy, and they need to work with that and figure out he's not getting cheered by the fans. People fucking hate this guy. Let's put him in a role and give him the right reaction with the right character to feud with the good guys who people genuinely are emotionally attached to. Do you know how much better the program will be if people are playing their roles correctly, are placed in the right roles with the right characters, and are put together to create an overall grander experience? I cannot stress this enough with WWE television. Every single week, it is becoming more and more apparent that WWE needs to turn Roman Reigns heel. Roman Reigns is not the guy. Jinder Mahal will not make him. Daniel Bryan didn't make him. The Rock didn't make him. Vince McMahon himself couldn't save Roman Reigns. But the people are loud and proud and clear every single week, and WWE turns the other cheek to it. Seth Rollins is right underneath their fucking nose. Seth Rollins is right within their line of sight. This is the guy. And he's done nothing but showcase his talent in the ring. And somehow there's an emotional attachment to Seth Rollins that WWE isn't prioritizing. What is it about Roman Reigns that gets people in the WWE off? Yeah, he's got the good looks, he's got the tan skin, he's got the tattoos, he's got the long hair. Fine. But that's not going to translate to people on television. The guy has no charisma. The guy has no character. The guy has nothing exuding from his body that makes me, sitting at home, say, I want to emotionally attach myself to this guy. Now, I don't know what it is about Seth Rollins. All I can figure out is that the guy is busting his ass and working to get where he is through hard work. That alone will make people emotionally attached to somebody. Hard work proves to be great in the end, and you're reaping the benefits. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't see Stephanie McMahon and Kurt Angle and Vince McMahon and the half the fucking WWE roster coming out trying to fucking back this guy up. You don't see half the roster being thrown in front of Seth Rollins to get him over. Seth Rollins got himself over. They do it right with other people, and then when it happens, they turn the other cheek and say, nah, it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Roman. It's not supposed to be Seth. Why not? Why not? What is it about Roman that Seth doesn't have? Everything, literally. If you prioritize a checklist and you compare the two, Roman Reigns would be blown out of the water if you're comparing Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I'm not saying Seth Rollins is on the level of a Daniel Bryan being built up organically, but the fucking guy has showcased through hard work that by doing so comes emotional attachment. WWE even changed his theme song and altered his theme song with one little minute detail. Burn it down. When that spoken line rings out in the arena, you have fucking 15,000 people ringing out in unison, chanting along with that. But when Roman Reigns comes out, you hear nothing but moans, groans, and boos. I don't understand why WWE just doesn't listen to its audience. Seth is the guy we want on Monday nights. Roman is not. If you can't see that by watching these shows on a weekly basis, I don't know what to tell you. What else needs to be done to prove to you, to get it through your thick skull, that Roman Reigns is not the chosen one? Roman Reigns is not the guy. Putting him in a match with Jinder Mahal will not benefit either man. Jinder will be playing a role that is not intended for him. Roman is not going to be playing a role that is intended for him. Both men will be crucified in Chicago. All because Jinder played a heel on SmackDown Live, bringing him to Monday Night Raw to feud with Roman, who is being miscast, will do nothing and will have opposite effect of what you're thinking. There's no way you can take your audience and feel like they are the dumbest fucking people watching your program. There is no emotional attachment in Roman Reigns right now. There's no way a person with a functioning brain could watch Roman Reigns and listen to the dialogue that's coming out of WWE scripting these guys. Management is holding me down. Management doesn't want me to get what I rightfully deserve. Well, if main eventing 4 WrestleManias in a row against Triple H, Brock Lesnar, the fucking Undertaker, is management holding him down, then fuck! Anywhere I go, I hope management holds me down. Being a Grand Slam winner in WWE is having management hold him down? Being featured in main events when you shouldn't be featured in main events on B-level pay-per-views over the WWE Championship, is management holding you down? Having Vince McMahon come out there and helping you win the WWE title? Having Dwayne Johnson come out there and raise your hand after winning the Royal Rumble is having management hold you down? How are you supposed to emotionally attach yourself to somebody when the dialogue that you're being given doesn't even make sense? And then you look at Seth Rollins, who all he has to do is stand there and people are fucking blowing the roof off the building without even having him utter a single fucking word into the microphone, and he stands there smiling, humbled, as if he doesn't deserve the ovation and the cheering and the praise that he's getting. I don't know what else to tell you people. Every single week, we have another instance of WWE not listening to the fans. WWE not doing what is right. I'm tired of hearing the Roman heel turn won't work. The people that cheer him will only boo him, and the people that boo him will only cheer him. So what? So what? At least the guy would be in a role as a cast of this roster, playing the part that he's supposed to play. Because right now, it's like he's out of the batter's box. Get in the batter's box. Put Roman in the batter's box and give him a fucking stance where he could fucking compete against that pitcher who's throwing a fucking 100 miles an hour, shutting you out. Right now, Roman looks like the fucking pussy coming off the bench who's 0 for fucking 50, who ain't gonna do shit. It's not supposed to miraculously change him. But the way that we portray him, the way that we vilify him, the way that we look at Roman as being the face, it's laughable. He can't be a face if he doesn't see the dark. Monday Night Raw is set up perfectly for Roman Reigns to be a heel. Look at the baby faces on this show that Roman could feud with all the way up until WrestleMania. Look at them. Rollins and Strowman is all you need. Is all you need. Need I say more? Roman in a heel role will make everyone around him that much better. Strowman's stock increases. Rollins' stock increases. Because that's how great of a heel Roman will be. And by that aspect alone, his stock will rise. I'm not in the industry. I don't work for WWE, but I've been a fan for fucking 30 plus years. So I don't want to hear at all from anybody, I don't know what I'm talking about. I for fuck sure know what I'm talking about. I know what I've watched. I know what I've ingested over the 30 years. And this is a simple fucking solution. And WWE is making it look like the most difficult fucking decision that they've ever had to make. It's not life or death. It's turn him heel. He's not a babyface. And when the opportunity arises and you have this great heel come in and try and take Roman's thunder, then the moment will present itself for him to turn into a babyface. And the fans will be much more receptive to a babyface Roman because he's went through the struggles and he's played the role right, and people will attach themselves to Roman and see the work that he's put in. Nobody stays heel forever. Very rarely does someone stay a heel for the entirety of their career. Everybody that was at the top had a taste of the darkness. Why is Roman immune to the darkness? What is so terrifying for WWE to venture off and have Roman go into the darkness? What is it? What is it? When the show and the characters around Roman, supporting this show around Roman, call for it to happen. I don't know how many times I could say this again. Rollins is the guy. And Rollins has gotten to be the guy in everyone's mind right now because of his work in the ring. Built up organically, naturally, fans are emotionally attached to him. So how could you see everyone literally talking about Seth Rollins and you do nothing to push him up to the number one position on Monday Night Raw? Seth Rollins, if you're asking me how to book Seth Rollins right now, Roman is completely out of the equation. If I'm booking Roman Reigns right now, I have him do nothing as it concerns the Universal Championship. Nothing. I would have Roman continuously fail, and fail. I'd have Roman lose to Jinder Mahal at Money in the Bank. That's the way I'm booking Roman Reigns in Chicago. Every opportunity you want to keep this shit going, you continuously have management bury him. Management is against him. Meanwhile, at the same time, when Roman is being buried, Rollins is ascending. Rollins is making that IC title the one title everyone wants. The one title everyone wants. There's a reason why Seth Rollins is name-dropping Brock Lesnar on television and using Brock Lesnar as hashtags on social media. He wants to be a champion that is not like Brock Lesnar. He wants to be the guy to come on Monday Night Raw and be there and defend the title. Unlike a Brock Lesnar. There's a reason why he's mentioning Brock Lesnar. So then you need to play off that. If Rollins is going to continuously be built up as the guy who is working night in and night out, defending that title, getting better at every fucking twist and turn, every single week, then that's the match you're going to book at SummerSlam. That's the match you're going to book at SummerSlam in the main event. If the IC title is being built up to that level, then you need to give us Rollins versus Lesnar at SummerSlam. Forget Reigns. Forget Reigns. If Rollins and Lesnar main events SummerSlam, champion versus champion, both titles on the line, can you imagine the headlines for SummerSlam? Can you imagine the intrigue around SummerSlam? Can you imagine the excitement around SummerSlam? We haven't seen a champion versus champion match, especially for the Intercontinental Championship, since the days of Hogan and Warrior. That's your main event for SummerSlam. That's your priority going into SummerSlam. And at that point, you got Roman in the background. You got Roman in the background wondering why management won't give him an opportunity. Why they've ignored him and turned their back on him as he got screwed at WrestleMania with the Lesnar contract and Lesnar retaining the title and then the steel cage match at the Greatest Royal Rumble and him being, just slighted and not given another opportunity. It feels like he should have got another opportunity but was screwed at the Greatest Royal Rumble. They just didn't even acknowledge it. Referee acknowledged it, but WWE management won't acknowledge it. Couldn't get into Money in the Bank to get himself a briefcase to get to Lesnar. Every opportunity, this guy was screwed. So Roman takes it into his own hands. Roman takes it into his own hands. Can you imagine if Roman aligns himself with a new Shield like I pitched? Authors of Pain haven't been on television. Why aren't they on television? They better be off television for a damn good reason. If they're off television because you got plans to eventually line them up with Roman Reigns, then by all means, keep them off fucking television. Roman is going to take this opportunity, and instead of the Shield bringing justice to the WWE, Roman Reigns is going to assemble a new Shield to bring justice to Roman Reigns. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound like something that you as a fan can emotionally invest in? Because the management deal about holding Roman Reigns down ain't working. There's no reason for any of us to believe management's holding Roman Reigns down. But if management's holding Roman Reigns down and he has a fucking problem with it, you better believe he better take it into his own hands and make an issue out of it. And do something about it to bring justice to Roman Reigns. How great would it look if Rollins is about to win the WWE Universal Championship and be a dual champion, the first person ever to hold the Intercontinental and the Universal Champion in WWE history. And out of nowhere comes Roman Reigns. Out of nowhere comes the Authors of Pain to beat up Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Doesn't that sound a little bit more intriguing? Can you just visualize Rollins in the climax of that match, about to hit the curb stomp to win both titles? And out of nowhere comes Roman Reigns wearing a fucking shield mask, and the Authors of Pain wearing shield masks, or shield-like masks, to cause chaos. And I mean chaos. The likes of which we seen last with the Nexus when they destroyed Monday Night Raw. That's the type of chaos I'm talking about to close SummerSlam. No contest. We don't got a dual champion. The main event was sabotaged, but for the right reasons. Why? Because Roman Reigns needs to bring justice to Roman Reigns. He's tired of being held down. If I'm speaking out of my ass here, please, someone tell me. And if I'm speaking something that you guys want to see, then please let me know as well. Because I know what needs to be done. I know what needs to be done here. Roman is being miscast. And it's not a fucking science experiment to try and figure out what the right formula is. The right formula is easy. It's like the flip of a switch. All you have is up and down. How you turn on a light switch. How you turn on a light switch. Roman babyface or Roman in the darkness. It's that fucking easy. It's that fucking easy. That could be a whole fucking video right there. But you got that right here on Off the Script. Because I don't have time to upload another video. Let's quickly go through the weekend review, man. Monday Night Raw, boring London crowd. I hate the tape shows. They feel lazy. I feel like WWE manipulates the sound and the audience, and we don't get the true the true event that was. I had a ton of people come to me and say, JD, I was there. We were loud as fuck. But what I watched on television was half of what you guys were describing to me. I hate the tape shows. I can't wait for WWE to get back to the States. WWE blew through all the Money in the Bank qualifiers on Monday Night Raw with 4 weeks left to go. I'm assuming that we're going to get tag team matches with everybody involved, or we're going to get singles matches with everybody involved. Typical WWE laziness by them having 4 weeks left to go, and there's no more qualifiers for the Money in the Bank. The B Team seems to be WWE's Cinderella story on Monday Night Raw. It seems like they are taking a priority in them instead of everybody else in the tag team division. Tag team division on Monday Night Raw, on paper, looks pretty decent. But in reality, WWE doesn't give two shits about the tag team division, thus pushing Axel and Dallas as the B Team with mock merchandise that just signify a letter B spray painted on a t-shirt, and them having this kind of stupid, yet kind of heartwarming Cinderella story when they get a win. Now, it could present itself as them getting over because of the way they've been portrayed, but in hindsight, you're looking at the rest of the fucking roster. You're looking at the Revival, and you're looking at the Authors of Pain. You know, two teams that have seen huge success in NXT. Why are the Revival being wasted? Why are the Authors of Pain off television for 3 straight weeks? It's mind-boggling to me how WWE simply doesn't care about tag team wrestling. And they don't care about tag team wrestling because of what they're doing with the B Team. They have tag teams on Monday Night Raw, and they opt to push the B Team as their biggest team right now on WWE television. And the B team is a knock on both Axel and Dallas. They're nothing but B-plus players. Thus, the B team. Braun Strowman and the reverse booking of Braun Strowman on this show. I don't need to tell you again after what we already discussed for about 30 minutes in the opening of this show. Braun Strowman is a babyface. Last year he was a heel. This year Braun Strowman is a babyface. This year Braun Strowman has gone through the Elimination Chamber and wreaked havoc. This year Braun Strowman won a 50-man Royal Rumble, and he still doesn't have the wherewithal or the pride within himself to say, hey, management, listen to me. I just won the biggest Royal Rumble of all time. I want a shot at Brock Lesnar. Whereas WWE is holding off Brock Lesnar's next opponent because they want Roman Reigns to take that position. And whatever fairy tale they're trying to tell here, that will have an unhappy ending. And while Braun Strowman should be coming out saying, listen, fuck Roman Reigns and fuck everybody else, I'm the one you guys need to have eyes on. I'm the one that needs the Universal Championship title shot. Meanwhile, Braun Strowman is nothing but a tag team secondary partner to Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, etc., etc. When did Braun Strowman become a tag team specialist? It's not the Braun Strowman I signed up to watch. The 2018 version of Braun Strowman is a shell of what the 2017 version of Braun Strowman was. The 2017 version, I said this on Raw Review, would kick the 2018's ass. Why are we having Braun Strowman team with Smiley Finn? Did anybody ask themselves that question during Monday Night Raw? Smiley Finn with his fucking rainbow-colored t-shirts. You know how cringe it was to look at Finn Balor smiling, doing Braun Strowman's pose? Not exactly what I visualize when I'm watching Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is the guy that is going to play a huge role in getting Roman Reigns over. It comes full circle, people. Roman helped get Braun over. I'm no fucking idiot. Roman helped Braun get over. They had some of the best matches on Raw in 2017. I know. This year, Braun is going to help Roman get over, but as a heel. Because Braun is the one guy that people want to legitimately see and find legitimacy in. Why is it not being executed? I don't fucking know. Because they do it for Roman. Elias. Is WWE taking too long with Elias or what? How is Elias not in Money in the Bank? How is Elias not in Money in the Bank? When are they going to start pushing Elias towards mid-card gold? That's what I want to know. Can we get Elias away from the gyrating No Way Jose and the fake Bobby Roode, the imposter Bobby Roode that we're getting on Monday Night Raw? Can we get Elias in a more serious program to where he can ascend to that next level? Or is WWE going to wait too long to push this guy and his heat is going to die? Instead of striking while the iron is hot. They're making the same mistake with Elias that they did with Shinsuke Nakamura. Ronda Rousey, challenging for the Raw Women's Championship. This was another huge discussion this week on Monday Night Raw. Is she ready? Does she deserve it? Etc., etc. Nia did the challenging on this one. Ronda accepted it. But WWE, foolishly again, doesn't realize who's watching. See, for the blithering idiot out there, they don't realize that Ronda repeatedly said, I don't want any preferential treatment. I want to work for everything that I get coming to me here in the WWE. I want to start at the back of the line. I want to work my way towards the top instead of being given everything like everyone expected upon my arrival. What happened? Ronda seemingly went against everything she said there, or WWE scripted Ronda today to say those things, and might think that we forgot what she said. I don't forget, motherfucker. I do not forget. So Ronda, by default, without having anybody realize it, looks like a fucking idiot. And I don't want Ronda to look like a fucking idiot. Ronda challenging for the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. The title On Ronda, too soon. Will Ronda lose in any way, shape, or form? No. Why would Ronda lose? Ronda is not going to lose, because if she loses, WWE's plan for their WrestleMania 35 main event takes a massive fucking hit. There's a reason why WWE presented Ronda challenging Nia Jax, or the other way around, and Nia challenging Ronda and Ronda accepting at an NBC red carpet event, with, coincidentally, Charlotte right in the middle of this, egging Ronda on to take the match. There's a reason why Charlotte was interjected right in the middle of those two women. Why? Because this is WWE planting seeds for WrestleMania 35. They're not stupid. And neither am I. But Ronda winning the title, too soon. Ronda losing, not going to happen. But I brought up the question. This could be WWE's stairway to get Ronda into her first real feud. Because there's no blood feud here. This was a match made. No issues between these women. There's no build. There's no storyline. It's merely using Ronda for her name value only to sell a pay-per-view that is going to be absent of Brock Lesnar. But then you get to think, well, Nia Jax is the Raw Women's Champion. She's an embarrassment to the championship. She doesn't really add any value to the championship whatsoever. How much worse can it be with Ronda holding the title? At least we have someone legitimate holding the title. But it's too soon. It's too soon. I don't see Ronda winning the title at a Money in the Bank, even though WWE is building up Money in the Bank as one of its major pay-per-views. I see Ronda winning the title at a SummerSlam in a major market like New York City. Not to say Chicago's not a major market. I love Chicago. Love you people out there. You always bring it. But I think SummerSlam as an event in general is a bigger event compared to Money in the Bank for Ronda to do something like that. And then you can build towards Charlotte maybe winning the Royal Rumble and getting to headline WrestleMania against Ronda. But how much worse could it be with Ronda winning the title? Nia Jax is doing nothing on Monday Night Raw. And this could be a way to make history. Someone wins the Money in the Bank, cashes it in after a decision is made in the match with Nia and Ronda Rousey. Whether it's an Ember Moon, whether it's somebody out there, an Natalya maybe. And that could be the title feud that WWE wants to set up for Ronda to take the title first. Natty versus Ronda at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's Championship. At least, it would give us Natty in a heel role, and it would give Ronda someone to work with who I'm sure would work great with. That's just the way I see it. But it's all business with WWE. Not really expecting much out of the match. It'll probably suck dick, but we're going to go into this a little bit more open-minded, even though whatever the WWE is doing with the women on Monday Night Raw is thumbs down. SmackDown Live, quickly. Styles Nakamura finally deliver a great ending to a great match. Their matches have progressively gotten better. That ending with Nakamura playing Possum had me singing Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan praises all night after that fucking show went off the air, man. Beautiful ending, and Nakamura played it off perfectly. But is it the right time for Nakamura now to win the world title? I discussed on SmackDown Live that Nakamura winning the title right now could throw a lot of things out of whack. And if WWE struck while the iron was hot with Nakamura back in October, instead of giving a torturous reign to Jinder Mahal, which killed SmackDown Live, which killed the WWE Championship together, then WWE would have probably been in a better position now than they are currently in. Nakamura would have been a babyface. He would have been a white-hot babyface champion. AJ could have won the Royal Rumble. We still could have got the match at WrestleMania. Roles would have been reversed. AJ still would have walked out WrestleMania the WWE champion. The heel turn could have happened then with Nakamura. Still. But WWE opted to give Jinder a fucking title reign. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Everything that they're doing right now could have easily still been the same direction if they gave Nakamura the title back in October when I said it then. WWE, they might have missed the boat on Nakamura. I truly feel like they don't want to take the title off of AJ Styles. AJ Styles has no shortage of opponents on SmackDown Live. Daniel Bryan, Andrade Cien Almas, Samoa Joe. Joe and AJ Styles is the direction that WWE is going to go for SmackDown Live at SummerSlam. But where does that leave Nakamura? Where does that leave Shinsuke Nakamura? Is it the right time now for Nakamura to win the title? They had the match on SmackDown Live. It was the best match that they had up until this point. But Nakamura got a win. He got the win on SmackDown Live. More than likely, AJ Styles is going to get the win at Money in the Bank. Big Cass is not big time. Big Cass right now, nothing is clicking with Big Cass as far as his promo delivery. I don't know what it is. Big Cass might have all the tools in the world to be a solid WWE superstar and a monster heel on SmackDown Live. But right now, it is not clicking. Something is really off in Big Cass. And the only thing that I could pinpoint it being is his promo delivery. I don't know why he comes off sounding the way he does, but he does not sound intimidating at all. And I think he, right now, is in a position that he truly does not deserve to be in. And WWE is going to continue pushing Big Cass against Daniel Bryan for the sheer fact that they don't want to push Big Cass. They're not looking to make Big Cass a monster heel on SmackDown Live right now. They're merely pushing Big Cass and using Big Cass as a pawn so that they can get to Daniel Bryan and The Miz when the time is right. And I think that's when Miz winning Money in the Bank kind of solidifies that entire WWE program going into the end of the year. Carmella is not money, but Carmella is cringe. Her and Asuka at Money in the Bank. Asuka has to win, right? Asuka has to win, correct? Knowing WWE, they gave Carmella a clean victory over Charlotte. So it is not out of the question for Asuka to suffer the same fate whatsoever. Carmella is terrible in the ring. And I retract everything positive that I said about Carmella. And please, get her out of that one-piece fucking bikini that she's wearing to the ring. She looks absolutely fucking ridiculous. Did WWE drop the ball on Andrade Cien Almas already for his main roster debut? All this hype and all this anticipation, and they put him against a local UK enhancement talent instead of putting him in Money in the Bank. This was the talking point on SmackDown Live on social media. Did they ruin his debut? What was all the hype for? Why didn't you put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match? And I'm over here looking at these people, and they're, I'm thinking about all these people thinking that I'm negative. And I came out SmackDown Live review, and I'm like, what is the rush? What is the rush here with Andrade Cien Almas? If you put him in Money in the Bank, more than likely he is not going to win. Yeah, he'll have a good showcase, but that's not really going to enhance how people look at him. If he doesn't win, why are you going to put him in there? You do realize that he's 28 years old. He will have Money in the Bank experience. Believe me. If he doesn't have it this year, he will definitely have it next year. If you're not putting him, think of it like you're thinking about the Royal Rumble. If you're going to make a major debut and put him in the Royal Rumble and he's not set to win it, what's the fucking point of putting him in the Royal Rumble if he's not going to win it? He won his match. Fine. People calling him for being Money in the Bank. He ain't going to win Money in the Bank, so what's the point of putting him in Money in the Bank? He's lucky if he even gets on Money in the Bank. The card. Andrade Cien Almas will be fine right now. I hope. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Speaking of Money in the Bank, does the New Day need to be in Money in the Bank? I mean, WWE couldn't have found another human being to put in Money in the Bank. They have to tease the idea of one of the members of the New Day going into Money in the Bank. I don't know. Something tells me that that's going to end up being a big mistake. Because unless they start pushing the one guy that they put in Money in the Bank, then it was a wasted spot that could have went to somebody a little bit more deserving. NXT. The feud between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream now has Lars Sullivan standing in the shadows. Ricochet and Velveteen Dream not only want to one-up each other, but they want the NXT Championship. Lars Sullivan says, nah, both of you guys are getting in the back of the line. So we got teased between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream on NXT TV this week, and it was about 5 minutes of something that I wanted to see go 20. And if that was any indication of what these guys could do in Chicago, then I fully expect it to be one of the best matches that WWE showcases this year across all three brands. Lars Sullivan is being positioned as the next guy to step up to Aleister Black. Meanwhile, I think next week with the handicap match that we're getting with Lars Sullivan and Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, I think they're going to kind of ruin each other and take each other out, giving Lars Sullivan the victory. Lars Sullivan going into this is a massive, overwhelming favorite here, and the one-upsmanship here between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream is probably going to come into play because whatever Ricochet can do, Velveteen Dream can do better. So there's probably going to be some miscommunication there, and they're probably going to one-up each other, and it's going to cost them the match, giving Lars the spot against Aleister Black. And I said, do not sleep on Lars Sullivan. He might not be many people's first choice here for an NXT Championship match, but do not sleep on Lars Sullivan. You know, I know he's got that time constraint. You know, I can't see him going 15, 20 minutes, but he did last over 30 minutes in the ladder match, and he looked pretty damn impressive. So, again, do not sleep on Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black. You might be in for a surprise come NXT TakeOver Chicago. We may end up getting a very, very physical affair. Tommaso Ciampa coming out to Johnny Gargano's theme while waving goodbye was the highlight of the week for me. His berating of Candice LeRae, saying that he pretty much, Gargano is, you know, the one not wearing the pants in the family, and that Candice LeRae, quote unquote, he didn't use this direct term, Candice LeRae, quote unquote, married a pussy. And then she proceeded to slap the shit out of his mouth. Tommaso Ciampa is playing the best fucking heel in WWE right now, and I can't wait to see where this feud goes. But I'm loving the inclusion of Candice LeRae here to take it to that personal level with the dialogue that they said and spoke about on NXT television this week. Undisputed Era in the main event lost clean to Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch and Pete Dunne. And yes, you fucking goons, I know Oney Lorcan is not part of the UK squad. I know Oney Lorcan was Biff Busick in Boston as an independent wrestler. Don't tell me what I know. If I make a mistake, then I'll willingly admit it. But I mention UK guys because it's easier to just roll off the tongue. The UK guys. There's two of them compared to Oney Lorcan. So Oney Lorcan is part of the UK group because he's teaming with them. Don't need to correct the content creator on everything that fucking comes out of my mouth as you thinking is wrong. Calm down. Undisputed Era, Adam Cole and the rest of the group fucking doing masterful work. They have huge deal written all over them. And I'm genuinely intrigued about where they go into NXT TakeOver. Do we see Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch team up to vie for the tag team championships as a Cinderella underdog team, being that they got the win on NXT television this week? What does Adam Cole do with the North American Championship? We don't know. But Undisputed Era has that look and that feel and that cockiness and that bravado to them that when they make their main roster debut, it's going to be a huge fucking day for the Undisputed and whatever brand gets them, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. That was quite the opening to this fucking show, man. And no breaks. No breaks whatsoever, man. I do this in one fucking take. There's no breaks for me, man. I'll take a break now because we're going to hit the intro and I'm going to get some more fucking coffee. But we do things here the JD way, and we do things differently here on Off the Script compared to everybody else that you're listening to. We're going to talk about WWE teasing the main event of SummerSlam, which we talked about a little bit here in the opening. We got more news this week than we had the last couple weeks. So we're going to hit this intro. We're going to talk some news and rumors. I'm going to talk some All In, Starrcast, who reached out to me, if I'm going to be at Starrcast, should I be at Starrcast, bunch of other shit we're going to talk about. So let's hit the introduction and let's get into episode 223, part number 1, right here on Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE's great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man? But this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. So I've been going back and forth on this, man, and I don't know what I should do, quite honestly. Because last week I talked up a big game about taking a chance on myself. And before I did that, I obviously did a lot of thinking, and then I jumped. I finally took that leap. And I didn't regret anything at all. I didn't regret it one bit. But I'm going through a similar circumstance now. I'm going to be in Chicago for All In. I'm going to All In. I'm going to be at the event. Hopefully, I will be meeting and greeting you guys somewhere with fine craft beer around me. But I want to shout out Matt from Wrestle Rumble, WrestleRumble.com. Big supporters of the show. He's a big supporter of the show himself, and I'm going to be with him. And he graciously purchased my ticket along with his. If you guys need anything concerning the WWE pay-per-views, if you guys need something to do to keep your mind occupied during the shitty pay-per-views that we get for WWE, WrestleRumble.com has got you covered. But Matt graciously purchased my ticket. I'm going to be sitting with him, Section 212, by the way, of All In. And I'm going to be in Chicago. But the thing is, I was on my Twitter feed last night, and I see the Starrcast Twitter page just sending out notifications. Oh, this podcast is going to be a part of Starrcast, and this guy and this group and this podcast is going to be a vendor. We'd like to welcome Steven Larson as vendors to the Starrcast panel. And the Starrcast, for the podcasts, to be a vendor, I emailed them and they got back to me. It's going to be like a WrestleCon for podcasts, I guess. Big initiative on podcasts. So I tweeted out, I'm like, I want to go and be a part of Starrcast, but I genuinely, because this is not a WWE event, this is something that I'm setting sail in, and it's uncharted waters. This is the Bullet Club, this is New Japan, this is Ring of Honor, and I'm not really familiar with the product. It's not like it's, a WWE event where I'm Mr. Know-It-All. I'm sailing into uncharted waters here. So when I seen Steven Larson announced, I'm like, I'm doing just as much, if not more views than them on YouTube. So what if I threw my name in the hat for Starrcast and put Off the Script in as a vendor for Starrcast? So I'm like, do I have the backup to be there? Do I have the fanfare to be at an event like that, that's not a WWE event, to pull in an audience? Am I going to have traction by being there? Or am I going to be sitting there and nobody's going to come up to me and they'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, I fucking hate this guy. Let me go up to him and say, fuck you. I don't want to be presented there and pay money to buy a booth to sit at this WrestleCon-like event for podcasters and just kind of be like, nobody's going to be there to see me. They'd rather go see the bigger name guys. So it got me thinking, do I have a big enough audience to even be in an event like that? Is it worth taking a chance to buy a booth for $500 and be there at Starrcast? So it's got me thinking if I should do it at all. And then all of a sudden last night, fucking Conrad Thompson reaches out to me. He's like, hit me up. Conrad fucking Thompson of the Bruce Pritchard podcast. And I go to his Twitter page, and I realized that I wasn't following him, yet I listen to these guys every fucking week. And he's following me on social media. So I follow him back, and I DM him. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And I give him my concerns. And he tells me, he's like, it would be silly of you to not be at this podcast convention. He's like, when I think of you, you of all people should be at this podcast convention. And I'm like, I don't know if people are going to know me. He's like, dude, people are going to know you. People know you. So that made me feel a little bit better. But I'm not really sure if I should splurge for the $500 and be at Starrcast and buy a booth and buy a seat and buy a table and just be presented when I got all these other fucking podcasts around me who have probably much larger audiences than I do. But then there's some podcasts that have little to no audience, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Who the fuck is going to come up to them and do anything with those guys? Like, they have 1/1000th of my audience. So it's like, it's damned if I do, damned if I don't. I don't want to see these scrub bum podcasts there with literally no name or no traction. They're literally like fucking, you pluck people off the street and you put them in a wrestling booth and call themselves a podcast. You know, meanwhile, I got fucking Off the Script here, which we do every single week religiously, every weekend. You guys know how this show is. It's the best fucking podcast on YouTube when it comes to pro wrestling. That's the way I feel. But I feel like if I'm put in a situation like that, it's like, who's going to come out to listen to me or see me or take a picture with me or buy a shirt? So it's like, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. But the fact that Conrad Thompson knows who I am makes me feel a little bit better. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Beast. Loving what he's doing. He's all over the place. And literally, he's the fucking royalty of podcasts nowadays. So if he knows who you are, I guess I'm doing something right. But this is episode 223 of Off the Script. Thank you guys so much for joining me this weekend. Tonight, as you guys are probably listening to this, I'm in Queens somewhere. So maybe you should put your phones or your iPads or your laptops or walk away from your PC. Tonight, I'm going to be in Queens, New York, at House of Glory, fair warning. So if you guys are in New York, or you're traveling into New York and you need something to do to start your weekend off the right way, I suggest you come out to the Queensboro Elks Lodge in Queens and check out some independent wrestling that's done on a whole nother level. House of Glory presents Fair Warning. Amazing Red in the main event against Smiley. And that one has world title implications. We have Jeff Cobb, a.k.a. Matanza Cueto, making his House of Glory debut. Santana Garrett's going to be there. Shane Strickland is going to be in action. And I'm going to be doing commentary. Guinness is always accepted as form of payment to say what's up to me. I'm not going to turn away Guinness. But not too many because I'm trying to slim down. Trying to slim down before the summer, bro. So if you guys are going to be in New York City, come out, say what's up, and have a good old time. You know, classic independent wrestling, man. House of Glory doing things the right way. Should be a good time. I think the bell time is at 8 p.m. So if you guys are going to be in the area, come on out. HOGWrestling.net. You guys can still buy tickets for it. There'll be meet and greets with certain superstars. It should be a good time. Even though I'm not a big fan of the Elks Lodge because A, when it's warm, they don't turn on the air conditioners, and B, it's a little bit too crowded, and I got people walking in front of the commentary desk, and I can't really see the action all too well, and I got to tell people to sit down and get the fuck out of the way. So, you know, it's quite hectic because it's such a small venue. But if you guys are in town, HOGWrestling.net, House of Glory, and come check us out, man. It should be a good fucking time tonight at the Elks Lodge. Barber shop window. Don't at me, motherfucker. Don't at me. When I'm right, I'm right. I don't want to hear anybody. Go get your t-shirts, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use code BSHOP20 for 20% off the new Roman Reigns design, and his empire is still not over. I asked a lot of people, JD, what happened to the other design? I don't like that design. I guess that's the reason why it's not really selling as well as I thought it would be. Well, you guys had that shirt for sale, but there were issues with copyright. Couldn't put the image of Roman on the shirt. So this is the best thing that we have to offer right now. Same thing happened with the Daniel Bryan shirt. I can't put those likenesses of the wrestlers' images on a shirt because it's owned by WWE. So what we got here is Barbershop Window and Pro Wrestling Tees cracking down on that type of shit. And we have to go the other route to give you guys a little bit more, I guess, innuendo to what it means. But clearly, that is a Roman Reigns design. Roman and his empire is still not over. And you're supporting Off the Script to do so. So go get your t-shirts, man. 4 designs there, 15 in total. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harry's. My friends over at Harry's. Great fucking people. Great product. And I'm going to take a poll right now, man. My beard is looking a little bit thick. Should I trim it? Should I trim the beard, or should I allow it to grow? I'm in a conundrum right now. So it feels itchy right now. It reaches a certain length that you know when you touch it and you feel it, it's too long and I need to trim it, but I want to let it grow. So I don't know what to do. Should I let the beard grow or should I trim it? It's going to be up to you guys. So I'll leave you a poll. I'll leave you a poll in the fucking video. Should JD trim his beard or should he leave it and let it grow like Tommaso Ciampa? Anyway, Harry's.com/script. You're going to get your razor blade, razor handle, your foaming shave gel, and a protective case for just signing up. All you guys got to do is pay, shipping, and handling. If you guys have already signed up, tell a fucking friend. Tell your girlfriend's family. It's good on the women, too. Tell a colleague at work. Tell a classmate. Tell your fucking teacher who's sitting there just snoozing away as you're taking your fucking midterms and finals. And he's got the big, bushy beard like Peter Griffin with the fucking birds chirping coming out of it, man. That's what the razor is good for, man. Harrys.com/script. Use your trial to get this and use it. It's going to be the best shave of your life. And I guarantee you, whatever you're using right now, you're going to throw it away. And Harry's is going to be your number one. Believe me. Harrys.com/script. All you guys got to do is pay shipping and handling. Same thing with Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Use our link to sign up. You're going to be given 30 days of Audible service for free, and you're going to get one free audiobook of your choice. Those 5 there, or the sea of 190,000 choices to choose from, man. Audibletrial.com/offthescript, and it's the same thing. If you guys have signed up already, tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way, and it's a great way to support the show. This will be coming up sooner rather than later, man. Off the Script and Wrestle Rumble coming to Pittsburgh. Big pre-party on the 15th at Terrace on 5th. Live off the script. We're going to have an extreme guest, I think. Nothing's been announced yet. Free to attend. And then Saturday, we're going to have an off the script Wrestle Rumble meetup at Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant. So 2 lucky winners, man. 2 of you will be sitting down with me, sharing a Guinness. And you're going to be sitting next to me and the crew of Wrestle Rumble and Brian Ghoulish. So make sure you guys come on out. It's going to be in Pittsburgh, PA. Extreme Rules Weekend, man. And also, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, please do so. We're close to 22,000 followers on social media. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And if you guys want to support via the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Oh, JD, where's the news, man? It's coming. Coming right now, man. Main event for SummerSlam. Is WWE teasing it? Well, according to fucking Wrestling Observer, they very well could be doing that. Sadly, Brock Lesnar as the Universal Champion is leaving a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And this is a complete opposite reaction when he was in the WWE for his WWE Championship title run. We didn't mind that title run where he was running through The Undertaker and John Cena and having that great triple threat match with Rollins and Cena. Right at the Royal Rumble, that was a great fucking triple threat match a couple of years ago. Now, although the WWE Universe doesn't want Roman Reigns to be the guy to eventually slay Brock Lesnar, the majority will claim that Lesnar needs to drop the title so that the championship picture on Monday Night Raw could become more of an open field, and there will be another title that people can challenge for outside of the Intercontinental Championship. Now, with Lesnar at the top of the mountain, there aren't many stars that can get involved in this conversation, even if they deserve to be in the conversation. For example, the only superstars WWE's booked to face Lesnar during his run as champion are Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Kane, and Braun Strowman. Now, which one of the 4 doesn't belong? If you said Kane, you are wrong. Roman Reigns is the one that doesn't belong. The consensus right now is that Lesnar will either drop the title. I know some of you are probably looking at me like, JD Kane over Roman Reigns? Yeah. At this point, yeah. The consensus right now is that Lesnar will either drop the championship to Reigns or Braun Strowman, potentially at SummerSlam as the former UFC heavyweight champion isn't booked to compete at Money in the Bank. However, based on social media activity that seems to be blowing up recently, Mike Johnson of PW Insider believes that WWE could end up going down a completely different route and might be building towards a feud with Lesnar and, who I mentioned in the beginning of this show, Seth Rollins. I mistakenly mentioned that this was Meltzer and Wrestling Observer. I correct myself. It's Mike Johnson and PW Insider. Now, Rollins has been doing fantastic work as the Intercontinental Champion and rightfully drawing praise from fans and outlets around the world for his performances. However, the whole being a defending champion could be the route that WWE goes down based on a trend which Rollins has started on social media. With that gaining more and more prominence, Mike Johnson of PW Insider thinks that this could be the match that WWE ends up booking. According to Mike Johnson, and I quote, "I've noticed lately on social media that he and Rollins have been doing #BrockWho. So it would appear that Dave Scherer, in predicting that Rollins against Brock is the match to look at. Dave Scherer, says Mike Johnson, may be right. That's something a lot of WWE fans also believe should happen, with reactions earlier this week from his supporters suggesting that they are convinced that WWE will create this feud. Rollins and Lesnar, according to what you've seen on television and which really isn't brought to light by anybody, have history. Believe it or not, they have a history. Now, Rollins performed his heist at WrestleMania 31, taking the briefcase away from Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the main event, probably the greatest cash-in of all time. While their match at Battleground, a one-on-one match, didn't even have an actual winner and never even got started, because The Undertaker came back to seek revenge on Lesnar, which led to that Hell in a Cell match that ended their feud. The entire legitimacy factor will undoubtedly come into play. And I know this is something that Justin LaBar talked about this week. It was in the title of his new Wrestling Reality podcast. I have not listened to it yet, but he even said on social media, I do not want Lesnar versus Rollins specifically for the legitimacy factor. There is a realism, and I know where he's coming from, and I know he would say this without even listening to the show. There is a legitimacy factor that you have to nurture and take care of when it comes to Brock Lesnar when you are finding an opponent for him. He's been on the Braun Strowman train quite a while. So, when you talk to LaBar, it's always Braun Strowman should be the guy to take down Lesnar because of that legitimacy factor. But I'm going to respectfully counter his argument and state, can you watch a match like AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar Survivor Series and not believe in an AJ Styles to beat Brock Lesnar? Did AJ Styles not do enough in that match to make you believe he could beat Brock Lesnar? Now, to me, eyes are going to see what they want to see, like I said in the beginning of the show. What my eyes seen was the performance that AJ Styles gave you at Survivor Series against Brock Lesnar. He made me believe he could beat Brock Lesnar. So what makes you think that Seth Rollins couldn't do that? What makes you think Seth Rollins couldn't do the same thing that AJ Styles did? Deep down, in the heart of it, Brock Lesnar is a professional wrestler. We're not talking about UFC. Yes, there's a legitimacy factor to Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is the size of a fucking building. But, again, I ask, did AJ Styles not do enough in that match to make you believe he couldn't beat Brock Lesnar? To me, he did. And he had me going the entire 19 minutes of that match, or however minutes they went in that match. So Rollins could definitely do the same thing. Now, some will suggest Rollins might not be a believable option to defeat Lesnar compared to guys like Strowman or Joe. However, with this new Iron Man label he has, and the reputation that he is building for himself as the hottest act in WWE right now. Some are calling him one of the best wrestlers in the entire world right now. Putting him next to names like AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, guys like that. It means he does stand a genuine chance of being someone fans believe in to defeat Brock Lesnar. And that one line right there is all you need. If the majority of the fans believe, that may be all the fuel and the motivation you need to get behind a Seth Rollins in beating Brock Lesnar. I rest my case, man. That's where I stand on that. And everything that I already talked about in the beginning of this show, how I would carve it out and how I would plan it, you don't even need to have Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar. You don't even need to have Brock Lesnar beat Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns is the one being fucked over here in his own sick, demented mind. So instead of bringing the Shield, and putting the Shield back on television in a situation that is not really called for, to bring justice back to the WWE like we seen last year, Roman Reigns is going to assemble his own Shield, and he's going to bring justice to Roman Reigns because WWE isn't looking out for Roman Reigns' best interests, Instead of the Authors of Pain, they will collectively be known as the Empire of Pain. Roman's own empire. Fucking pay me to write this show. Give me some fucking handymen to write the script. I'll feed you ideas. Let me set forth this show. I guarantee I take Monday Night Raw to heights it hasn't seen since the Vince Russo era, bro. Probably not. Never. But there's no way you can sit here and shake your head. Nah, it's not going to work, JD. That's a shitty idea. You know it's a good idea. And the people that hate me would be like, yeah, I fucking hate this guy's guts. I think he's a fucking prick. But I like that idea. Do it. Let's do it. Rollins and Lesnar at main event for SummerSlam. I'm all for it, bro. Let's make it happen. Bro. WWE, not interested in pushing the Revival. How many of you are triggered just by the topic of that discussion right now? Holy shit. Now, it could be argued that following the Superstar shakeup, the tag team division on SmackDown Live has only managed to get even more competitive compared to Monday Night Raw. Indeed. With the Bar, the New Day, the Bludgeon Brothers, the Usos, and who else they got over there? The Club. What the fuck you doing with the Club? Seriously, where are Gallows and Anderson? Give me a break. It's like WWE doesn't even care about tag team wrestling. New Day, Usos, the Bar, the Bludgeon Brothers. You got some competitive tag teams over on SmackDown Live. The Blue Brand might have, all these teams to make their division look legitimate. Like I said, the teams mentioned. But Monday Night Raw's tag team division right now is really, really lacking. They're really, really lacking. When you take into account that Sheamus and Cesaro of the Bar and the Club have also arrived on SmackDown Live, along with Sanity coming on in, it's going to take something special for Monday Night Raw to compete with the Blue Brand. Raw does have good teams. You have Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy that seem to be losing steam every single week. Fans are eager to see what Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre can do. And there's also the potential of the Authors of Pain, which we haven't seen for 3 weeks. Now, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, WWE may have given up on the one team that, at one point, was heralded as the best tag team in the entire world, despite them being portrayed as villains on Monday Night Raw. Recently, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson of the Revival suffered a loss against Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. The latest in a long line of signs that shows the former tag team champions of NXT simply can't catch a break. To break through to reach the next level many assumed they would be at after a brilliant run under Triple H and NXT. Mike Johnson has since highlighted the signs that are there that the Revival's position on WWE TV isn't great, while the fact that WWE being uninterested in them suggests they might have practically given up on ever pushing them as a team. According to Mike Johnson, and I quote, "They are wasting Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder away. They have had the worst luck in the world. They came up, they started to get a push by beating the New Day. Scott Dawson got hurt, Dash Wilder got hurt, then they came back. Immediately after both of them came back, there was no interest in pushing them at all. They have had bad luck and the company is obviously uninterested in pushing them. End quote. At one stage, big things were predicted for the Revival after they dominated the NXT tag team scene by being featured in matches with Enzo and Cass and DIY. The matches with DIY were some of the greatest tag team matches I have ever seen in my 30 years watching this company. Ever. You go back and watch the NXT TakeOver Toronto match for the tag team titles and tell me that's not one of the greatest tag team matches you will ever fucking see under a WWE banner. 2 out of 3 falls. Now, at one stage, things were predicted to be great for the Revival, and the reaction they received on the night they debuted after WrestleMania spoke volumes on how high the fans were on them when they stood opposite the New Day. However, when stars like Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are being given prominent spots over the Revival, it's a clear sign that things don't look great for either Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. They are advertised to compete on some NXT house shows, while Johnson also suggested that taking them off television would be a wise move. Do you know what would work here? Do you know what would honestly work here? And I don't understand why WWE didn't do this with the shakeup. You know, people move from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. People move from SmackDown to Raw. People move from Raw to SmackDown. Why can't people from Raw and SmackDown be moved to NXT? Why? Why is that such a bizarre notion to think about when it comes to a situation like this? If taking them off television is the best idea that these guys can come up with, why isn't it being talked about of possibly with a shakeup or a trade? Take the Revival off of Monday Night Raw, put them down in NXT again, let them compete down there against teams like War Machine, teams like TM61, teams like the Street Profits, teams like the Undisputed Era. Why are we not talking about taking teams like the Revival and the Ascension or the Club who have no momentum and putting them down in NXT via a trade or a swap during a shakeup? Instead of taking them off television and wasting them away to the point where nobody fucking cares about them, you think Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder want to be sitting in catering? Meanwhile, these guys were under the moniker of no flips, all fists. Right? These guys came out under the gimmick of reviving tag team wrestling. These guys were a picture-perfect, identical, fucking brain-busters-esque team. Something that we haven't seen in fucking God knows how long. Come out with the jackets and the titles and just this swagger about them that they legitimately were the best tag team in NXT and nobody could touch them. They ran through everybody. Ran through American Alpha, ran through Enzo and Cass, ran through DIY. Giving you some of the best fucking matches that you could possibly ever ask for from tag team wrestling. Is taking them off television going to be the answer? To have them work house shows only and not feature them on Monday Night Raw? This is what you are paying guys to do? Sit around and work the house show circuit? Who says that even at that point they're going to be cared about? How is that going to get them traction? That's just them being complacent. That's WWE wasting talent, signing a paycheck every fucking week to guys that they have no interest in using. So give them to someone who is interested in using them. I'm sure there's one team in NXT that you'd love to have up. Any one of those teams could be brought up right now and have a good role on television if WWE allows tag team wrestling to flourish. But that doesn't mean waste away the Revival. They need a reset button. Just like the Ascension needed a reset button for the last 3 years. Just like Gallows and Anderson need a reset button. There's no saving these guys on the main roster because the people in charge of Raw and SmackDown don't care. Put them in NXT. That's your reset button. And then, when they win the tag team championships again, and they get some momentum underneath them again, and they don't get hurt, then you bring them back up. Because the landscape of Raw and SmackDown at that point would be different. instead of sitting in the same stagnant pool of fucking irrelevance on Monday Night Raw. That's your answer. That's the solution to saving teams like the Revival. Need I say more? Ronda Rousey's WWE in-ring debut on Monday Night Raw is imminent. WWE announced this week that Ronda Rousey's next match in the WWE will take place at Money in the Bank against Nia Jax. But ever since her arrival in the company back at the Royal Rumble, she has yet to have a match on Monday Night Raw, giving her the moniker of the female Brock Lesnar. Rousey has only ever had one match since her debut at the Royal Rumble, and that was at WrestleMania 34 against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon as she teamed alongside Kurt Angle. Rowdy Ronda Rousey will have her next match soon when she faces Nia Jax at Money in the Bank for the Raw Women's Championship, but she is yet to have a match on Raw despite being a superstar in the WWE now for 3 months. That, however, is set to change. According to WKBW in Buffalo, Rousey will make her in-ring debut on Raw on July 16th at the KeyBank Center in Buffalo. This is noteworthy and newsworthy because there has been much speculation as to how WWE would be using Ronda after they announced she had signed a full-time contract with the company. Many reports have suggested Ronda Rousey would remain as a special attraction similar to how the company books Brock Lesnar. It's too early to call if this is how WWE plans on using her, but we could get a clearer indication after Money in the Bank and as we approach SummerSlam. Rousey wasn't part of this week's Raw in London as she was attending NBC upfronts. Another reason why WWE made that challenge there, because there is talk about WWE Raw moving to NBC or sticking with NBC and USA Network while SmackDown is moved somewhere else. So we'll talk about that this weekend as well. She should be a part of all upcoming episodes, however, as she will be needed in order to promote our upcoming Raw Women's title match at Money in the Bank against Nia Jax. It will be interesting to see as well if Rousey wins Money in the Bank and the Raw Women's Championship, at Money in the Bank rather, as her corresponding match on Raw July 16th could either be a qualifier for the match at SummerSlam, since it takes place after Extreme Rules, or it could be a title defense if she wins the Raw Women's Championship. So we'll have to wait and see how this situation plays out, but for now, we only know we have to wait 2 more months before we finally see Rousey compete inside a WWE ring on Monday Night Raw. Rousey was promoted as being a full-time performer. Now, she needs to own up to that, and WWE needs to own up to that. She can't be doing, ambassador-like work. She can't be on the set of a movie every fucking month. She can't be going on, podcasts and interviews saying that I want to get pregnant really soon. Because all of that rolled into one big ball doesn't speak as being a full-time WWE performer. We don't need another female Brock Lesnar. Or we don't need another Brock Lesnar-esque superstar on this show. She was brought in to bring legitimacy to the women's division. So you use her as one of the women to make this division better and legitimate. Rousey's in-ring debut on Monday Night Raw is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal. When was the last time Brock Lesnar wrestled on Monday Night Raw? That's a mistake WWE has not corrected. All this time, I would have had Brock Lesnar wrestle at least once on Monday Night Raw. They refuse to do so. They don't want to pay him. Having Rousey wrestle on Monday Night Raw, that is something that needs to happen. Not all the time, but it needs to happen. Rousey, winning the title, I don't think it's going to happen. Like I mentioned, and the report mentions, she could get stifled at Money in the Bank, and someone like Natalya or someone else could take the title on Monday Night Raw, and Rousey wins it at SummerSlam, setting up her WrestleMania match with Charlotte. That's the way to go. Right now, it's too soon for Rousey. I think we're all in agreement on that. SummerSlam is the right event for Rousey to win the Raw Women's Championship and bring legitimacy back to the women's division on Monday Night Raw. One final news article here before I get the hell out of here, man. And I got to get ready for House of Glory. The best thing about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view being around, this time of the year and everybody's excitement and being in a city like Chicago is that the hype going into it is always great. And it's shaping up to be an exciting night whether WWE drops the ball or not. There's just a level of excitement that's surrounding Money in the Bank. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura are going to battle again for the WWE Championship. Ronda Rousey's challenging for the Raw Women's Championship. And we have 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches that are taking place both for the men and the women. The male lineup is also confirmed. Is pretty much confirmed. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, and we have Kevin Owens. So we got Bobby Roode and Rusev, and who else is there? There's other guaranteed spots. The New Day, one of the members of the New Day is going to be there. There's one more spot left open, and that is going to be on SmackDown Live. So we got one member of the New Day also being in the match. We don't know who yet. WWE's kind of leaving it as a cliffhanger. Big E is the rumor. We talked about it on Off the Script last weekend. Big E rumored to be entering the match, and he could emerge as a shock winner on that night. The final spot is either going to Samoa Joe or Big Cass, with the obvious favorite here being Samoa Joe, especially since there's speculated heat on Big Cass. Overall, that is a very decent lineup, and fans probably wouldn't complain about whoever leaves with the briefcase. However, there is one thing that angered WWE fans online when the WWE was in the UK for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live during the European tour. After weeks of build-up, Andrade Cien Almas finally made his debut on SmackDown Live, but a couple of things seemed to rub the fans the wrong way. There had been rumors that WWE wanted to give the 28-year-old a significant push on SmackDown Live by having him engage in feuds before eventually giving him a big face turn where he could finally become the big Latin American star that WWE desperately wanted to have on SmackDown Live in place of Rey Mysterio. Judging by the reactions of fans on social media, they're disappointed that WWE did not take the plunge and have Almas debut at Money in the Bank. I mentioned this already, and fans on social media, I state this all the time. Wrestling fans are the dumbest fucks walking God's green earth. Something happens that they've been asking for, and then when it happens, they don't like it, and vice versa. Almas is 28. Almas, just by what we've seen in NXT, we're hoping that he has a major push on SmackDown Live. He's 28 years old. They're out there on social media in 2018 for this 28-year-old as if this is going to be his last year wrestling ever. As if he doesn't make Money in the Bank, it's going to be some detrimental fucking blow to his career. He's 28 years old. Almas is going to win a Money in the Bank before he hangs up the boots. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Now, could he have had a better debut on SmackDown Live after all the hype and after all the shit that we seen him do in NXT this year? Yes. Yes. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to get a push for Almas on SmackDown Live. It's like starting over. We know what the guy's capable of. It's just WWE giving him the ball and having him run with it. Now, there are rumors that Jeff Hardy is hurt. That's what I see being Almas' first opponent. Jeff Hardy, Almas, SummerSlam, United States Championship, moves on up. If he's in Money in the Bank, everybody's going to want him to win it. And with guys like Joe, Owens, Strowman, Balor, and The Miz in Money in the Bank, going to be kind of difficult to win that match. And I stated this with The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Everybody's like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? There's going to be a right time and a right place and a right reason for it to happen. That's where WWE's priority is and should be. If Almas is in that match, yeah, he may shock people and he may fucking do a flip here and a move there and he may look like a fucking stud. But if he doesn't win it, people are going to be disappointed when he doesn't win it. So WWE is saving you the disappointment by not putting him in the match, because if he's in the match, then everybody's going to want him to win it. When their priorities and their plans are obviously somewhere else. Right now, The Miz is my favorite to win it. He's the one that makes the most sense. If it's not The Miz, it's Samoa Joe. Almas will be in a Money in the Bank. He's 28 years old. People acting as if this is the end-all, be-all if he doesn't make Money in the Bank. If he's not scheduled to win it, why the fuck is he in there? Calm down. It's not the end of the fucking world. Almas will be fine. Oh, I hope. I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is SmackDown Live and Road Dogg with a fucking pen in his hand. Let's calm down a little bit. Before you know it, he may end up like Bobby Roode, and we may fucking end up hating Andrade Cien Almas. And he'll be on a fucking t-shirt saying, "Get off my TV." But I don't see how that could happen when you got Zelina Vega standing next to him. Kind of difficult to do that. He'll be fine. Calm the fuck down. That is Off the Script, guys. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I gotta head to Queens. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, hit that thumbs up, man. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Support the podcast via Patreon. Patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Use the code BSHOP20 for 20% off. Harrys.com/script for your free trial shave set. And audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so much. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll see you guys on part 2 for Off the Script. I don't know what the fuck we got else to talk about. Why WWE pay-per-views have been so long. Where Jinder and Mahal and Roman Reigns could be placed on the Money in the Bank card. Will it be main eventing? Gonna give you guys a fucking cliffhanger for tomorrow. SmackDown Live no longer on the USA Network, according to some sources. And the UK tournament participants revealed for this June. Also, is Enzo going to be debuting with Impact Wrestling? We'll talk about that on this weekend's Off the Script. I'm getting out of here, guys. Enjoy your Friday. If you're in Queens, come out and say hello. House of Glory at the Queensboro Elks Lodge, HOGWrestling.net for your tickets. Come and say what's up, buy me a Guinness, and watch some professional wrestling done right. Enjoy your Fridays, and I'll see you right back here at the normal time, man, for Off the Script Part 2 for your Saturday. I'll talk to you later.